When the message arrived from Baek-san, everyone in the room froze. Inside the Wang-Nam Empire, a traitor was already preparing to destroy everything. 3 nights after Luna married into the Wang-Nam Empire, someone inside the mansion tried to kill her. But the attack failed. Because Luna was already expecting it. If someone inside the mansion tried to kill Luna, it meant the Wang-Nam Empire had already been infiltrated. What nobody realized that night. The guards are irrelevant, Luna said calmly. They were only the distraction. The person behind the attack wasn't a guard. It was someone sitting near the center of power. And before this night was over, Luna would uncover exactly who that traitor was. But exposing the spy would force Wu Bin to make a decision. That could either save the empire or destroy it. Because the moment Luna began investigating the attack, she realized something disturbing. The ambush had been arranged by someone who understood the mansion's security system perfectly. Only 3 people inside the Wang-Nam Empire had the authority to change those patrol routes. Which meant one of them had betrayed the empire. And one of them was about to walk into the room. Morning arrived quietly over the Wang-Nam estate. Sunlight stretched across the gardens and marble walkways. Servants resumed their routines as if nothing unusual had happened the night before. But inside the strategy room, the atmosphere was tense. Wu Bin stood at the center of the room reviewing security reports. Advisors surrounded the digital displays covering the walls. Footage from every hallway inside the mansion played on the screens. The 2 guards from the ambush had already been detained. Interrogations had begun. But something about the situation bothered Wu Bin. The attack had been clumsy. Too obvious. Almost like it had been meant to fail. The door opened quietly. Luna stepped inside. Every conversation in the room immediately stopped. The advisors still weren't sure how to treat her. But Wu Bin simply asked one question. What did you find? Luna studied the security footage for a moment. Then she said something unexpected. The guards are irrelevant. The advisors exchanged confused looks. Wu Bin frowned slightly. Explain. Luna pointed to the hallway footage. The 2 men who approached me. Yes. They weren't acting independently. Wu Bin understood immediately. You think someone ordered them? No, Luna said calmly. I know someone did. Only 3 people inside the Wang-Nam Empire had the authority to change those patrol routes. Which meant one of them had betrayed the empire. And one of them was about to make a mistake. Luna stepped closer to the digital displays. She began reviewing the security timeline from the previous night. Guards moving through corridors. Doors opening and closing. Routine patrols across the estate. At first glance, everything looked normal. But Luna wasn't looking for obvious mistakes. She was looking for patterns. After several minutes, she paused the footage. Here. One advisor leaned forward. What are we looking at? Patrol rotation. The screen showed a security officer replacing another guard near the east corridor. The change appeared routine. But Luna zoomed in on the timestamp. This rotation happened 12 minutes earlier than scheduled. Wu Bin crossed his arms. Why does that matter? Because the 2 guards who approached me were assigned to the next patrol cycle. The advisors began to understand. Someone had moved the timeline forward, creating a small window where Luna would be walking alone in the corridor. And the guards would already be waiting. Wu Bin's voice grew quieter. Who approved the rotation change? The command log loaded. Only one name appeared on the screen. Captain Han. The room fell silent. Captain Han was one of the most trusted officers in the Wang-Nam organization. He had served the family for more than 15 years. And he controlled a large portion of the mansion's internal security. Which meant something very troubling. If Luna was right, the attempted ambush had not been arranged by a random guard. It had been ordered by someone inside the inner circle. And Captain Han was about to walk into the strategy room, completely unaware that Luna had already exposed him. The door opened. Captain Han stepped inside. Tall. Confident. Calm. He bowed respectfully toward Wu Bin. "You asked for me." Wu Bin didn't respond immediately. Instead, he glanced toward Luna. She stepped forward slightly. "Captain Han," she said calmly. "Last night you changed the patrol rotation in the East Corridor." Han looked briefly surprised. But he recovered quickly. "Yes." "Why?" He answered smoothly. "One of the guards requested an early replacement." "Which guard?" Han paused. Only for a moment. But Luna noticed. "I don't recall the name," he said. That was the second mistake. Because the Wang-Nam security system recorded every personnel change. Which meant Han already knew the answer. Luna spoke quietly. "Then perhaps the system can remind you." The screen behind her displayed the command log again. Han's name glowed clearly on the display. The room grew very quiet. Wu Bin watched him carefully. "Captain Han," he said slowly. "Would you like to explain why your patrol change placed Luna alone in the corridor at the exact moment those guards approached her?" Han's expression didn't change. But his eyes hardened slightly. Because the trap had already closed. And Luna had just forced the most loyal captain in the Wang-Nam Empire to make a choice. Lie. Or reveal the truth. For several seconds, Han said nothing. Then he did something unexpected. He laughed. Not loudly. But quietly. Almost with relief. "Well," he said. "That was faster than I expected." The advisors around the room stiffened. Wu Bin's eyes narrowed. "You're admitting involvement." Han looked directly at Luna. "You're very observant." Luna remained calm. "You underestimated me." "Yes," Han admitted. "That appears to be a common mistake." Wu Bin stepped closer. "Who are you working with?" Han didn't answer immediately. Instead, he studied Luna. "Do you know what the real problem with this empire is?" Wu Bin's voice grew cold. "You're not here to criticize our structure." Han smiled slightly. "No. But she understands it." He nodded toward Luna. "The empire is strong on the outside. But inside, it's becoming weak." The advisors bristled. Han continued. "You rely on tradition. Loyalty. Old alliances." He looked directly at Wu Bin. "The world has changed. And Baeksan understands that." The room froze. Because Captain Han had just confirmed the one thing everyone feared. He was working for the enemy. Wu Bin's voice was calm again. "Why?" Han shrugged slightly. "Because Baeksan is going to win." The advisors reacted immediately. "That's impossible. Our network is larger. Our alliances are stronger." Han shook his head. "You still think this war will be fought with guns?" He pointed toward the digital screens. "It won't. It will be fought with information. Supply chains. Financial pressure. Political influence." He turned back toward Wu Bin. "And Baeksan already has the advantage. Wu Bin asks. What advantage? Han smiles. Inside access. Several advisors suddenly understood what that meant. If Han had been working with Baek-san, they already had months of intelligence about the Wang-Nam operations. Shipping schedules. Financial networks. Security vulnerabilities. The scale of the betrayal was enormous. Luna spoke quietly. How long? Han answered without hesitation. 7 months. 7 months. Which meant Baek-san had been preparing this war long before the cyber attack began. The advisors erupted into arguments. Execute him immediately. We need to interrogate him first. He's already compromised the entire network. But Luna raised one hand slightly. The room fell silent. She looked at Wu Bin. If you kill him now, Baek-san wins. Several advisors stared at her. Explain. Luna spoke calmly. Han is their connection inside this empire. If he disappears suddenly, they will know their position has been exposed. Wu Bin understood instantly. They'll accelerate the attack. Yes. And we'll lose the advantage. The room became very quiet. Wu Bin looked back at Han. You expected to die today. Han nodded slightly. Yes. Luna shook her head. Killing him would be a mistake. Because Luna had just realized something far more valuable than killing the traitor. They could use him. Because the traitor was now more valuable alive than dead. Luna stepped closer to Han. You've already provided Baek-san with months of intelligence. Yes. But you can still provide something more valuable. Han looked curious. What? Misinformation. The advisors began to understand. If Han continued communicating with Baek-san, he could feed them false strategic information. False shipping routes. False financial targets. False attack opportunities. Wu Bin studied Luna carefully. You're proposing we let him continue his role? Yes. Han laughed again. You're assuming I would cooperate. Luna met his eyes calmly. You will. Why? Because Baek-san will eventually eliminate you once the war begins. Han stopped smiling. Your usefulness to them ends when the attack starts, Luna continued. But your usefulness to us. She glanced toward Wu Bin. Has just begun. For the first time since entering the room. Captain Han looked uncertain. Wu Bin remained silent for several seconds. This decision would shape the entire future of the Wang-Nam Empire. Kill the traitor immediately. And lose the chance to manipulate Baek-san. Or keep him alive. And turn him into a weapon. Finally, Wu Bin spoke. Captain Han. Han met his eyes. You betrayed this family. Yes. But today your role changes. Han waited. You will continue communicating with Baek-san. Han frowned slightly. And tell them what? Wu Bin glanced toward Luna. Whatever she decides. The room froze. Because Wu Bin had just given Luna authority over the most dangerous operation in the Empire. And that decision would soon trigger the most dangerous trap in the history of the Wang-Nam family. Over the next 2 days, Luna prepared the strategy. Han would send Baek-san a message. He would report that the Wang-Nam family had discovered a weakness in the port's outer shipping corridor. He would suggest that the family planned to concentrate its defenses near the eastern harbor. The information would appear believable. But it would be wrong. Completely wrong. Because the real plan was something else entirely. Luna gathered the advisors inside the strategy room. Digital maps filled the walls again. If Baek-san believes the eastern corridor is vulnerable, they will focus their resources there. She pointed to another location on the map. But their real objective is here. The Western Cargo Terminal. Wu Bin watched her carefully. You're predicting their next move? Yes. And when they attack? Luna's voice remained calm. We'll be waiting. But there was one problem with the plan. If Baek-san realized Han had been turned, they would eliminate him immediately. That night, Han transmitted the false intelligence. Encrypted communication channels carried the message directly to Baek-san. Inside the strategy room, advisors watched the digital monitors carefully. Minutes passed. Then one of the screens flashed. Incoming response. Han opened the message slowly. 3 words appeared. We understand. The room remained silent. Because no one knew whether Baek-san believed the information, or whether they had already detected the trap. Wu Bin looked toward Luna. Now we wait. But the next move Baek-san made would determine whether Luna's strategy saved the Empire, or destroyed it. 3 nights later, the harbor of Seongjin glowed with activity. Cargo ships moved slowly through the water. Dock workers continued their routines. From the outside, everything appeared normal. But inside the Wang-Nam command center, tension filled the air. Every screen monitored the harbor. Every advisor watched the data feeds. Then an alert appeared. Multiple signals approaching the eastern corridor. Exactly where Luna predicted. Wu Bin leaned forward slightly. Prepare the response. Security forces moved into position. Minutes later, another alert appeared. Unexpected vessel movement near the Western Cargo Terminal. The real target. Wu Bin smiled faintly. They took the bait. Across the harbor, Baek-san's operation had just walked directly into the trap Luna designed. But as the response teams moved into position, a new message arrived. This one came directly from Baek-san. Han read the message slowly. Then he looked up. They know. The room went silent. Wu Bin asked one question. How? Han read the final message slowly. You found the first traitor, the message said. But you still haven't found the second. Because they already have another captain inside your house. The advisors stared at one another in shock. Wu Bin turned slowly toward Luna. Because the war had just become far more dangerous. The Wang-Nam Empire had stopped one traitor. But another one was still hiding inside the mansion. And this time, even Luna didn't know who it was. In the next episode, Luna begins hunting the second spy inside the Wang-Nam Empire. In episode 3, Luna will uncover a second betrayal inside the Wang-Nam Empire. But the identity of the traitor will force Wu Bin to confront a truth he never expected. Because the person working with Baek-san may be someone sitting at the council table itself.